Hello, friends, fans, and dairy products of all ages. This is Cheese of Ages, and I'm going to be talking about a general, MOBA and multiplayer online thing, and it's going to be ELO Hell. Now, let's go and explain in detail for those of you that don't know what ELO Hell is. ELO or MMR, which are two different systems that do the same thing. League of Legends actually uses a hybridization of the two, where it shares some qualities of both of them. It's a system where, based on how you are performing, like wins and losses and various other factors, it determines what what skill level of player you are pitted against or with. It's basically a system that makes sure you have the best possible, most entertaining match. Generally, these systems try to get you to a 50%-ish win rate, so that you win as much as you lose, and you're constantly having the most competitive match possible. If you have a higher than a 60% win rate, then you are actually pretty good because it's trying to do it. Generally, these systems work by okay, you won this. You're consistently beating things at this MMR. Here's something slightly above your skill level. Let's see if you beat that, and see if we need to nudge you a little bit further up than we are. And then if you do beat it, it nudges you up a little further than just a normal win would do when that type of game comes up. If you don't, it lowers you a little bit, but not generally as much as a regular loss. It generally lowers you the same amount as a regular loss would. So they give you more reward for winning and not quite as much of a loss for losing. The concept of ELO Hell is the fact that you are stuck, not able to go further up in the system because your teammates are causing you to lose. You are being paired with people of a lower skill level than you. Now, the general consensus is ELO Hell doesn't exist because the system generally is going to put you with something inappropriate to your skill level. So if your teammates are that bad, it means you're that bad as well. And usually you'll be able to get out of away from that by playing consistently well. This, in general, is kind of a wonky counterpoint saying ELO Hell doesn't exist, for several reasons, because different teammates doing poorly, especially if you're in a position that relies on a teammate in your lane, can cause you to perform terribly. So essentially the mentality in League of Legends is teammates matter unless you're losing. If you're losing, it's your fault. That is generally the opinion put forth whenever the discussion of ELO Hell comes up. If you're winning games, it's because you played as a team. If you're losing games, it means it's because you need to get better and carry the game. If you're stuck with shit teammates, it's because you're not winning the game by yourself. If you're winning, it's because you played as a team. If you're losing, it's because you didn't play the game and do all the work. The general universal solution to getting out of ELO Hell is get better, scrub. You should be able to carry the game. It's wonky logic, and not all counterpoints are to that, and some explore that more and explain it in greater detail. But the general mentality is what I'm going to be complaining about, because the general mentality to counter the ELO Hell argument is that, and that's just stupid. There's always the general assumption that if you are losing a game because a teammate cries out like a Wookiee and dives a tower over and over again, it's your fault. If you're with teammates that are as inept as the ground, it's because you suck. Because you wouldn't be with those teammates if you were doing well. Never mind the fact that you have a shit stats, possibly because your support is constantly feeding in the lane, so you can't do anything as an ADC, or top lane gets fed and roams mid, so you get destroyed even though you were dominating the lane, because a fed top laner came down and camped your ass. No matter what you are doing, no matter how immaculately you can play, if something goes wrong that costs the game to lose that you had nothing to do with, it's because you made a mistake. It's because you suck. It's because you need to get better. That's the common counter-argument to say Elo Hell doesn't exist. Because if you're actually better than your teammates, you wouldn't be with those teammates. Never mind the fact that the system is based on variables that are beyond your control. You're supposed to play as a team. It's a team game. That is what they say all the time, frequently, until you complain about teammates. Then they say, oh, your teammates don't matter. You should be able to carry the game. And if you can't carry the game, it's your fault. It's just silly. This general mentality of, if you're stuck in Elo Hell, it means you aren't mechanically sound, you aren't trying to improve, you aren't capable of carrying a game in any circumstances, and you should be capable of carrying a game regardless of circumstances. And it's like, yeah, if your teammates are doing badly and costing you the game, and you think that, it means you're not noticing your own mistakes, regardless of whether you are or not. You know, it's just, how does my teammates being bad make me incapable of seeing my own mistakes? How does my teammates being doing badly mean I'm not a good player? How does me blaming my teammates for doing a Wookiee yell and diving a tower, me complaining invalidly? If I have a freaking Alistair constantly knocking people out of team fights and saving people, it's not my fault. That Alistair constantly saving people out of the team fight doesn't mean I'm not noticing my own mistakes, I'm not trying to improve, and I have weak mechanics. It doesn't mean I am as bad as that person making those mistakes. It doesn't mean Elo Hell doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that teammates can't cause my Elo to be stuck in a position where it doesn't belong, because I just can't carry hard enough. I've had games where everyone else was doing fine, and I was this close to being able to carry the game to victory by myself, but I just could not deal with, I came this shy of being able to compensate for the Katarina constantly wandering off by herself and getting herself killed over and over again, over and over and over and over, and never showing up for team fights and never doing anything, and constantly feeding kill after kill after kill after kill after kill after kill after kill. That player constantly making impossibly bad decisions doesn't mean I'm not noticing my own mistakes, doesn't mean I'm not trying to improve, and doesn't mean I was throwing the game. Sure, my performance, I don't know exactly what the system that League of Legends uses grades with. If it uses KDA as well as wins and losses, then that kind of match wouldn't affect my rating and cause me to be stuck in Elo Hell because I performed well. But in situations like, I've been an ADC, and have had situations where I was doing my ADC thing perfectly soundly. I had some positioning mistakes, sure, and I could have done things to compensate. I was noticing the mistakes I was making, but my performance was reasonably solid for my current skill level, and I was generally open to improving my mechanics. I was sound, but could have room for improvement, and I know it. The Alistair constantly dumping a CC tank on my head and causing me to be CC'd to all hell and then all end by the ADC isn't because I suck. Me having a KDA in the toilet because I am constantly CC'd by my own tank isn't me failing. isn't me not knowing I'm making mistakes when I make mistakes. It isn't me not trying to improve. It isn't me blaming my teammates incorrectly. Just the conversation going towards ELO hell doesn't magically make it my fault. Doesn't magically change the fact that teammates are bad and can cause you to do bad and trap you in an area, theoretically speaking. That is just a straw man argument. Saying that teammates aren't bad because you should be able to play well enough to compensate is just stupid. It's not a reliable, concise means of countering teammates being bad and affecting your performance. Sometimes teammates are just gonna throw the game. I've had a game where everybody in the game did super well, but then a teammate decided he was going to call for Baron. He decided we were going to do Baron, even though there was a Karma like right behind the thing. He didn't ping for it so we could warn him. It's like, no, don't. He just ran immediately into the Baron pit, started it. Our mistake was not leaving him to die. And with the result, we made the mistake of not leaving him to die. We made the mistake of playing as a team. We lost Baron and immediately were wiped out by the rest of the team and lost the game. Because we made the mistake of playing as a team with our Randy that made a mistake. Randy being random player. Because the Master Yi decided he was going to start Baron without telling us or doing anything, and we didn't want our teammate to die, we lost. In hindsight, somebody should have ordered over the wall. All of these things and other things that could have been done better. I will acknowledge that. See, I'm acknowledging my mistakes. It didn't magically protect me from a loss or an effect on my statistics. Teammates are capable of making mistakes. Bringing up the conversation of ELO hell doesn't magically make that go away. It's a team game. You just being able to carry by yourself and your team doesn't matter is a counterintuitive argument to the basic realities of the game. It's stupid. If you're good enough to compensate for your teammates fucking up, more power to you. Yay. If the freaking top lane that's like fed 7 kills before the 10-minute mark, which has happened before, and results in that super freaking hyper-fed top lane coming down and camping my ass, and I can't accommodate for it, it's not because I'm fucking bad. It's not because I'm not acknowledging my mistakes. It's not because I did anything in particular wrong. There are things I could do to adjust to that, but it doesn't magically mean that I'm bad. Doesn't magically mean that ELO hell doesn't exist, in the sense that teammates can cause you to lose games and be stuck at an ELO rating. Doesn't freaking change a thing. These arguments are nearly completely invalid, although some have been phrased better. And generally, your rank and ELO will rise if you play well, but it is possible to lose a long series of games because your random teammates are just shit. It's a possibility. It will happen. It will happen regardless of what ELO or MMR or rank in ranked play you are, because the only valid argument that ELO hell doesn't exist is because it never ends. ELO hell is perpetual. There's less of it the further you go along, but it will still exist, and it will still cause you to lose games, no matter what rank you are. Just watch challenger streamers that have good mechanics or solid players. No matter how high up you are, no matter how good a player you are, how high your MMR is, you're going to get matches that your teammates cause you to lose, and you're going to go on losing streaks. It's going to happen. You're going to be doing everything perfectly or reasonably sound within the acceptable parameters of playing the game, and a teammate will do something that completely wrecks you. It's going to happen. Elo hell doesn't exist because it doesn't go away. It never stops. Any other argument about it magically being your fault, no matter what the situation is, and if you are complaining that your teammates are throwing the game, it's because you suck, don't make Elo hell not a thing. Elo hell isn't a thing because it's the game of League of Legends. It never stops. Anyway, this is Choose of Ages, signing off.